I'm Kirsten Duncan. I'm here at the Soldier Intervention to talk with Afghanistan troops about their struggles with PTSD. Come on. Let's see what they have to say. What is your name?
Jeremy Prophet. I remember the day that I moved into Iraq. There were dead bodies and burning vehicles on the highways. There was never one real firefight, but there was always violence. I remember thinking that a bomb could blow up at any moment and burn and kill all of us on the roads.
This all sounds so horrific. How has it affected you today?
In war, you learn to block out the horror. It's called survival mode. But you see, I'm still in this survival mode. To try and help me forget, I attend college classes and work 10 to 12 hours on a work day. But the war is still with me. My war is always with me.
I'm so sorry to hear about it. Do you have any personal experiences with post-traumatic stress disorder?
Actually, yes, I do. In the war, I was in a vehicle and a bomb blew up and killed every one of my troop members except for myself. I remember the stank of the human flesh and the blood splattered over the vehicle just like it was yesterday. This moment horrifies me even to this day. And while I was driving home one day after I returned home from the war, I was coming home from work and I stopped at the side because I saw a motorcycle and a car on the side of the road with a bloody helmet and a dead body next to it. This moment was the turning point for me, and all of a sudden I felt emotion that I hadn't felt in years. I started crying my eyes out and have never felt that way before. When I got home, my family and my friends told me I needed help. This is when I realized that I had PTSD, and this is when I got help and changed my future for the better.
That's truly touching. Have you got any help for this?
Yes, a counselor tested for traumatic brain injury and PTSD. So I got individual therapy and they got me into a group where I can talk about my feelings. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. We are happy to have you here today. Thank you for having me. I just wanted to fill everyone in about my post-war trauma. Has the war affected your family life at all? I've recently been diagnosed with a very severe case of PTSD. Sometimes I have to sit in my car, avoiding my son so I don't hurt him and bring it all out on him. My wife is understanding, however, she doesn't like when I'm near the family. Have you been holding up emotionally? Emotions have been very unstable lately. However, the emotions are getting the best of me. How has the therapy you begun helped with your post-traumatic stress disorder? Ever since I began talking to people and getting therapy, I have realized that I'm not the only one, and that 17% of the people who I fought with have been going through PTSD just like me. Your story is bound to touch people's hearts. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for having me. Thank you for joining me today. I am interested to hear about your story.
Thank you for having me. I think it's important for people to understand what I'm going through.
Tell us your story.
My husband DJ has been in the war for a long time now. When he came home, he had gone from a hard-working, compassionate, independent man to someone whose hands shake so badly he can't even tie his own shoes. He has nightmares so vivid that he often so horrified the next morning.
Have you noticed any signs of post-traumatic stress disorder in DJ?
Yes, I have. And to help him, I've tried bringing him to the ER. On the way, in the car, anytime something hits the bottom of the car, DJ braces for impact and sometimes calls me by his battle buddy's name. After arriving in the ER and waiting several hours in the waiting room, a caseworker quickly decides that residential psychiatric treatment was the best solution for DJ.
I'm sorry to hear about your husband's experiences.
The caseworker says that there is a VA almost 500 miles away from home, and a plane will arrive within an hour to take DJ to the faculty. After DJ leaves, the next day I receive a phone call from a woman named Norma Jean, a nurse on the unit. She tells me I must come to the VA as soon as possible. I was very worried about DJ at this point.
What happened when you got to the VA?
Thank you for your concern. When I arrived at the VA, the admitting psychiatrist diagnosed DJ with post-traumatic stress disorder. No surprise there.
So sorry to hear all of this. How do you deal with it today?
DJ has a meeting every morning with the psychiatric team. His symptoms are not improving, and he is becoming increasingly agitated and unresponsive. Anytime he or I mentions that he isn't reacting well to the medication, the psychiatrist doubles his current dosage. His medications are not benefiting his actions. Some side effects to this are hallucinations, vomiting, and he has a fever. On his first night home, he injured my wrist during a nightmare.
So sorry. Do you think his experience with post-traumatic stress disorder will get worse?
It's hard to tell, but I'm worried DJ might have a life-threatening reaction to the medication he is taking.
Thanks for sharing your story. I wish you luck. These stories are truly inspiring. Clearly, post-traumatic stress disorder has affected many soldiers today. Here's Kirsten Duncan reporting live from Soldier Intervention. Kirsten Duncan, I'm here at the Soldier Intervention here to talk. I just said here.
Block out the horror. It's called.
So, do you have any personal? I hope. Have you noticed any major issue? Have you noticed any signs in DJ?
The best
No. Clearly, post-traumatic stress disorder has affected many. Reporting live from the Soldier Intervention.